If you can feel other people's energy, that doesn't mean you're weak or you are overacting or you are being over dramatic. As an empath, that is the ability you built growing up and have the ability, have the sensitivity, have the intuition to be able to feel other people. And I want to go deeper into why, as an empath, you feel so much, and that becomes your crutch rather than your armor. Because being an empath is not a punishment. Being an empath, being sensitive, is not something to feel like why God has made me like this, but it has deeper truth because ultimately you are spiritually attuned, and this is why you feel so much. This is why you're so sensitive because you are attuned to higher realm. You are attuned to higher dimensions. And this is why, as an empath, you feel so much. I also want to go deeper into the idea that when we say that because I feel so much, the negative energy, the toxic energy, they really drain the life out of me. How can we shift that so that you are not being drained by feeling so much? So that you don't feel drained and exhausted because of others, so that you don't isolate yourself. So I want to really clarify that because there's a reason why certain empaths they get drained and exhausted, and certain empaths are operating with owning their truth, embodying their truth without getting drained, without isolating, and they're embodying their sensitivity as their gifts, as their power. So the reason you feel like you cannot be in your power, you cannot thrive in life because on some level you feel because I'm sensitive, I cannot do this. Because I feel so much, I cannot socialize. So all your life, you were conditioned to shrink in order to make other people feel safe. So growing up, you've learned the skills of being highly empathic, and you've learned to survive in the chaos, and that chaos made you even more sensitive. That chaos made you even more hyper alert, hyper vigilant, hyper aware of other people's emotions because you had this gift from within, this intuitive side to you where you have the ability to feel. But that ability even heightened through the environment of living in chaos, living in dysfunction. And that created this feeling within you that I must be able to read everyone in order for me to feel safe. Because growing up, you did not feel safe. And the only way you thought you can feel safe, if you could read emotions, people, energies, so that you know that there's no threat. This is why the hyper vigilant. This is why high empathy. This is why super sensitivity, because you needed to feel safe and you did not feel safe. Also, due to your gifts that God has given you, you shrink yourself because you did not want other people to feel uncomfortable, because you don't want to hurt people. You don't want to cause pain. You were in so much chaos. You don't want to cause pain. You don't want to cause scene. You want to be small. You want to not offend people with your light and with your truth and with your aura, your energy, your ability to have this gift of being able to read people. You were shrinking because you wanted other people to feel comfortable. And you let me know if that's true. I know that it is true, but you let me know if that rings true in your body, that you always kept yourself small. You try to keep the peace by keeping yourself quiet. And all of that happens with empath because they carry this abandonment wound. They've been abandoned growing up. They felt neglected. They felt abandoned. And they learned This is why, as empaths, we feel so much because we learned the only way we cannot be abandoned by being able to read people, by being able to feel safe, by helping people, fixing people, being nice to people, and doing and giving and all of that, and all of those beautiful things that we have. And nothing wrong with being compassionate and doing and giving to people. But if it's one sided, if it's only one sided, then there is a stagnation, there is a wound, because the energy, the emotions, everything has to flow both sides. It has to be in harmony. But if there's only one side, if it's only giving, that I can give, I can help, I can please, I can be empathic, I can be compassionate, I can be, but I don't want to receive, it's okay, nobody needs to do anything for me, then the wound is there around not feeling safe. The wound is there that I am not feeling safe receiving. And the reason we don't feel safe receiving, because we've learned growing up that the only way to be loved is by giving. The only way to be loved by constantly being focused on others. This is why empaths, they abandon themselves. They learn to abandon themselves because that's all they knew when they were little. That's all they knew. The only way to be loved by being focused on others. And one thing I want to tell you energetically, as a healer and someone who works with energy and who reads energy very deeply and who sees energies, I know as an empath, we are not in our bodies energetically. We are always being in other people's body. This is why the draining comes through. Well, the reason empaths get drained is because they are never in their body. They are never grounded in their body. They are always focused on other people. They are energetically always reading. They are energetically always trying to fix, resolve, trying to make sure that other person is okay. So there's constant this like, oh, I want to make sure that this is why as an empath you get drained, because you're not feeling safe in your body. You are in other people's body energetically, taking their pain, taking their emotions, taking their stress, taking their energies, taking whatever they are feeling, taking that and trying to help them through trying to resolve it energetically. And this is why, as an empath, you get exhausted, you get drained, you feel like I cannot do this. This is too much. And unconsciously, empath is always trying to fix. Energetically, they are always in other people's body. They're trying to resolve, they're trying to heal, they're trying to help, they're trying to fix. And this is why you absorb the energy of others and there is no separation, because you energetically never learned to stay within you. You never learned to be grounded in your frequency, your energy. And because you've never learned, you always focused on others. You build this pattern within yourself. The only way to feel safe is by not being within me, by being focused on other, by being in other people's energies. And that's how you read. You constantly reading because you want to feel safe and you are feeling their emotions, their energies. So I want you to know that there's a deep connection between energetic sensitivity and nervous system. When you absorb someone's emotions, your body actually is reading their frequency. And this is where, if that person holds a negative frequency, negative energy, you are now absorbing that. You are now taking that, and you are leaking your energy through that. So the person you meet, you take their negative energy, you give your positive energy, and they feel good in your company. They feel happy, they feel peaceful, they like your company, but you get drained, you get exhausted, you get tired, and then you need to isolate. And then you need few days to recover from it. And then that cycle repeats itself, and then that cycle repeats itself over and over. So your nervous system does not feel open and does not feel safe to be able to be grounded in your own energy. This is why your nervous system is constantly in fight and flight or freeze, that you have to operate from this place. The only way I feel safe is by connecting with others and by helping others, by fixing others, and then getting drained, then getting isolated, then recovering, and then the same cycle. So, growing up as an empath, this empathy was more of a survival mechanism because you did not feel safe. So, that's why you've learned to scan others' energies, read other people's emotions because you did not feel safe. So, it was a survival mechanism. But as you grew, now this is your spiritual gift. Now, this has opened you to become awakened into your power, because this knowledge, this wisdom that you've learned, even though it was part of survival when you were growing up, but actually it attuned you spiritually to be able to read, to be connected to intuition, to be able to read emotions, and to be able to read energy. That is a powerful gift, and this is why empaths become great healers, mentors, coaches, leaders, speakers, because they have the ability to read the room. They have the ability to read aura. They have the ability to read energies, and they are able to make decisions based on their intuitive ability to read. And that is a powerful skill to have, and as an empath, and to thrive in leadership, to thrive in life, to be successful. These skills are priceless. So knowing that, I want you to understand that this idea of I am absorbing other people's energy constantly, I need to protect myself. And if I don't protect myself, then I'm drained, I cannot function, I have to protect. This idea of protecting, that comes from this place that I need to hide, I need to isolate. And that is not a healthy place to be, because we don't want to be protecting. We want to be in embodiment of our higher self. We want to be embodiment. We want to use our gift so that it serves us, not depletes us. We want to be in a place where we are actually anchoring our gifts in a way that we feel empowered, not disempowered. But when we say that we want to protect our energy, and most empaths, they say that I want to protect myself, I want to protect my energy, I don't want to meet this person, that person. The reason, and this is the deeper truth, the reason you feel like you need to protect yourself and you don't want to go out and meet people is because you feel that by meeting these people, you will get drained. And this is why you don't want to meet these people. The reason you meet those type of people, that's the first thing we need to understand. Why do we have people who drain us? We have people who drain us is because we are carrying a frequency that is in alignment with that person who is draining us. Because on some deeper level, on a subconscious level, as an empath, we are running a pattern that says that we need to fix people. We need to heal people. We need to help people. And that pattern has a double-edged sword, because on one side is great that we want to help people, heal people, fix people, right? It's a great thing to do. But on the other side, it means that we have to be in alignment with those type of people who need fixing, who need our energy, who are energy vampires, right? Because energy vampires like to take energy. The toxic, manipulative people, they like to take, and the empaths love to give. And this is why it's a perfect match. And when we hold that pattern within, we are attracting those type of people, because everything that comes into our reality, it is being attracted. We are the one who is attracting. We are the one who is carrying these energies within us that attracts the kind of people that come into our life, the kind of situation that come to us. And I know it might be hard to hear, but that is a deeper truth. As an empath, I can tell you this is the reason most empaths get drained, because they are carrying this wound around fixing, helping, because they were abandoned, because they felt abandoned. They don't want to abandon anybody else. So they want to fix, they want to help, they want to resolve. But in return, they're abandoning themselves. They're abandoning their soul. They're abandoning their desires. And this idea of protecting in order to feel safe, it does not help permanently. You cannot permanently protect yourself. You have to permanently release the wound that attracts energies, frequencies, people, situations that attracts those type of experiences. You must heal the wound that keeps attracting those type of energies, situations, and people, so that you shift into a new version of you that is an embodiment of your gifts without feeling like your gifts are depleting you. Because your gifts are not here to deplete you. They are here to guide you for your higher purpose. They are here to show you what is possible to you. But feeling like you need to protect yourself is like you creating this detachment within yourself, because you are carrying that frequency, that energy within you to attract those people in your life. So in order to shift, you must release the pattern, the subconscious beliefs, the abandonment wound, and release this belief around the idea around that I have to fix, I have to help, I have to resolve. And if I am not able to do that, then I am not perfect, I am not enough, I am not worthy. Those are the wounds, deep, deep wounds that empaths carry, that they have to resolve everybody else's pain before seeing themselves, because they feel the only way they can be seen or heard when they can make everybody else happy, when they can fix everybody else's problem, when everyone else is happy. That's when they give themselves time to feel like, now I can have time to do something for myself. But ultimately, they never have the time to do anything for themselves, because there's something else comes up. They have something else shows up, and then they get distracted in their somebody resolving somebody else's pain. So that is the pattern. So we want to release it, and we want to create energetic boundaries where we are operating in place of unconditional love without attachment, without any desire that to fix or heal. Because ultimately, when we are in alignment with our higher truth, we know that we don't need to fix anyone. We only show up as our higher self, as our best self, and people who are ours, who belong to us, they come to us. We don't need to fix them. People who are in alignment with our energy, they show up, they rise with us, and they hold their accountability. They take their responsibility. Empaths are not responsible for other people's emotions. And it is not your responsibility to hold other people's emotion, hold other people's burden on your body, and believe that is your responsibility. It isn't. And the sooner we let go of that responsibility, we create discernment, we create detachment, and we own our truth, we become empowered. We stop being isolated. We feel safe in our body. We learn to feel safe. And all of these things happen when we heal, release, and embody. And embodiment is such a big thing, because empaths can know a lot. They are highly aware, but they do not embody what they know. They cannot embody because they are constantly operating from fixing, resolving for others. They are not feeling safe in their body. So coming back to themselves, embodying their higher truth, operating from a place of knowing that I am empath and I'm so anchored in with my spiritual gifts that God has given me, that I can use to rise people in their higher consciousness, help people to show their truth. And when I do that, people are empowered, people are awakened, people are conscious. And as empaths start owning their truth, And that's the wound from empath, is mainly is that they were not allowed to own and speak their truth. They were like always condemned. They were not able to stand up for themselves. They were condemned. They were misunderstood. They were invalidated. So for empath becomes such a big thing that they need to own their truth. They need to speak their truth. They need to stand their ground. That becomes such a huge thing. And the more you stand your ground, more you stand up for yourself, more you speak your truth, your energetic body becomes stronger and stronger. Then you don't drain, you embody your truth. This is why speaking and allowing and owning and discerning is such an important skill for empath. So these are the things you have to be aware of if you're absorbing other people's energy, and how to create discernment and detachment and stop protecting, but actually release that wound so that you never have to protect, but you embody and anchor in your truth. With that, if you would like to work with me, if you want to shift your energy, if you want to embody and regulate your nervous system so that you operate in wealth and abundance and actually raise your income and impact, then you can click the link below to apply for my mentoring. Other than that, like this video if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel. And may the light in me reaches the light in you.